All right, welcome back for the SilmFilm script discussion, season 3, episode 2. I almost reversed that. That would have been hilarious. Yeah. So we're trying this again. We are going to try once again to work out how we're going to kill Olwe, because and the host description of this is that the Teleri are going out in smaller boats to catch the ships, board them, and try to take them back. Olwe goes out after Feanor's ship specifically with the purpose of talking him out of this insanity.
Yes.
Which, when your people are already being killed, doesn't seem like the move to me.
Yeah, so I think part of the idea was to have Olwe set out before it turned into a bloodbath.
Mm-hmm.
Like it escalates quickly, so it's still in the stealing ships phase when he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get on this boat and go out, and by the time he gets there, people have already been killed.
Mm-hmm.
But like he made his plan before that had happened. So maybe when he arrives, his plan has changed, but he still needs to confront Feanor because his people are dying now.
Right. Okay. And are we going with the Earwen was sent up to man the arch with the archers?
Yeah, they have to already be in place before Olwe fights it. So
right.
There's really no reason for her to be there unless her father told her to.
Right.
The only other way to do it is to have her father say, I'm going to get on this boat and go talk to Feanor. And she's like, that sounds like a terrible idea. That's not going to work. And then she's independently decides
Feanor.
Yeah. Good luck with that one. And then she independently rounds up some archers and goes to guard the arch as the final, like, we're going to stop the ships ourselves kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
The issue with the alternative is that means that she's commandeering some Teleri, even though she's a princess of the Noldor, and she's specifically giving them orders to shoot at the Noldor, who are her husband's people. You know, it's kind of messy. If her father orders her to do it as a last line of defense to save the ships, it's a little better. But she has brothers. Like, seriously, why are they not in charge?
Because they're not there.
Has some.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, maybe they're also trying to board ships. Maybe like they're busy on actual docks.
Yes, like they have to be off doing something else, because otherwise, if Olwe had an important order, he would give it to one of his sons who's been there forever, not his daughter who left home 100 years ago.
Right. Yeah. And honestly, in order for her to be taking command of the archers, we have to see her actually practicing archery like earlier.
Like in season 2 sometime, yeah.
Right, yes. So note.
Earwen is an archer.
Actively insert Earwen shooting something with a bow at some point. End note.
Yes.
So why does Olwe send Earwen up to the arch exactly? Does she have some skills that make her valuable in such a position?
Apparently she's an archer. Who knew?
We just made her an expert archer.
Yeah, you know, like Susan in Narnia. Hi, I'm a random British girl who's never held a bow, but look at me, I'm awesome.
No, we have to retroactively insert. It's a good thing that we're scripting out this show 100% in advance of actually making it, or else we'd be in a real pickle here.
Yeah, most shows I don't think plan their seasons that well in advance. So it's like, oh, it would have been really more convenient if this happened. Maybe the audience will just forget. Let's rewrite it and retcon it right now.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's no other way I can think of that she winds up there. Brian says, does she have to be in command of the archers or just go there with them? Maybe she just goes up there so she can see the whole scene in the harbor before things get. I mean, I guess
Again, with her actually taking up arms against the Noldor, it's an issue. So if she's there as an observer, it's less of an issue. But she's the king's daughter, so if she's there, they're not going to just let her stand there and ignore her. Like, whoever's in charge is going to notice her presence and either take orders from her or challenge her right to be there. Aren't you a princess of the Noldor? Like, aren't you married to this guy's brother?
Well, we can do that, though. I mean...
Yeah, but we have to figure out what's going on. And for her to stay on the she kind of needs to get along with the archers who are up there.
Right. So maybe she sees archers on their way up there.
And joins them.
And she goes up there with them.
Okay.
She might... Now, I can see her giving the order to open fire.
Yes, because when she sees her father killed.
Yeah.
That was the other reason to have her there, so that the reaction to Olwe's death was a personal one rather than a military one.
Yeah.
Like, if the archers were like, and now we're shooting.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So then that's tangential to Olwe's death, and we don't have to worry about it then. Okay. So Olwe...
He gets on a boat and goes out.
All right.
To meet Feanor.
Right. So they're going up. He can't be the first one to go up there. He can't be the first one to go up to go up.
He's in a boat with a bunch of other Teleri who board the ship. I mean, that's
right. Right. He's got to be second wave at best, because the first wave is not going to survive.
Well, are they just going to grab them at sword point and put them to the side and be like, stand here? Like, or are they going to kill them?
They're going to kill them.
Okay.
Like, how else would you, like, of course, like, because they have to be assuming that they're boarding them to take the ships back.
Which they are. I mean, that is the point of this.
Right.
Okay, so at this point we have Noldor defending the ships by killing the Teleri. Okay.
Right. Who are boarding them. So there's this running sword battle going on.
Okay. What are the boarders armed with? Because they can't be armed with nothing, or else this is ridiculous.
No. Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous no matter how you slice it.
If they have daggers, because you would have a knife if you're on a ship to cut ropes and stuff.
But that's not even like that's absurd. I mean, boat hooks, harpoons. Like, you can see you see somebody throwing a harpoon up on and getting somebody that way.
Okay.
Things like that.
All right, because I mean, there has to be some weaponry on the Teleri side, even if it's no match for swords.
Right.
It still has to be something, because I mean, again, you can't just board the ship and be like, "I'm here to take you over." Ah!
Yeah. Can Olwe come out under a flag of truce and Feanor lets them come up with it? Maybe always.
But flags of truce are a thing you invent after you have warfare. This is pre-warfare.
That's also true.
There is no such thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna have Morgoth's parlay with Maedhros happen soonish, by the end of the season. So at that point, like, rules of warfare are in place, but we will have already had multiple major battles at that point.
Right.
So rules of how do you talk to your enemy at the end of the battle, like, will have come into play.
They can. I mean, the only way I see it working, where there's a conversation. Nets are actually really effective against armored enemies. That's true, but they're not lethal.
But it would at least give a delay to get other people on board. Like, it would make it less of a one-sided massacre if you're tossing nets over people and then swarming over them.
But you also have to be on the same. Like, it's really hard to toss a net up at somebody.
You have to get onto the deck and then throw the net over the other guys to let the rest of your group up. But that's what the second wave gets on. The first wave has nets. I mean, we could do something like that.
Okay. Well, the other option is to have a shouted conversation back and forth between Olwe and Feanor. Right. Exactly. Yes. Where Feanor is on the ship and Olwe is still on the boat, and they've managed to get hooks onto the ship, and always trying one last time to reach out to him, and Feanor chucks a spear at him.
So that the death is more of a distance thing instead of like plunges the sword into him right in front of them while they're in the middle of talking. On one level, I like that better, because if there's any level of inviting him on board to have a conversation and ending it by running him through with a sword while he's unarmed, like, that is a lot more cold-blooded than what we're trying to go for here. This is a massacre, and there is a lot of blood in the water, and people are doing very vicious things, but it's not premeditated quite. Really?
Brian is saying Feanor will let Olwe on his ship because he wants Olwe to tell his forces to stand down. I don't feel like at this point it feels like he needs Olwe to have his forces stand down.
Right. It would be more like, if you know what's good for them, you'll tell them to get out of our way. But if you don't, we'll just run them over. Like, we don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And you can't
if he
stop
wants
us.
Olwe, if Olwe wants to tell his forces to stand down, he's in the wrong spot to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
And Olwe doesn't want to do that. And Feanor knows that, because Olwe made it very clear that he's loyal to the Valar. He's not going to let the Noldor get these ships.
Right.
Yeah, so I can't see them really having a conversation. So the shouted conversation with a spear works a little better logistically. And I do want to see some scaling onto ships and grappling and pirate fights, because I feel like this scene needs some pirate fighting, but maybe not between Olwe and Feanor. Like, pirate fighting works great for the extras. Like, the unnamed Noldor and the unnamed Teleri can be involved in those scenes, and that is going to work just fine. Let the stunt guys do that.
Well, the like shipboard fighting is extremely brutal. It's not like it's not like, I don't care what Pirates of the Caribbean says. It's not the environment to try to have a conversation in.
Well, to be fair, I think the conversations in Pirates of the Caribbean are meant to be humorous rather than serious.
Yeah.
Like, the pirate wedding is hilarious. Completely unrealistic and obviously can't possibly happen, but that's not the point of that scene.
Okay. So I feel like I feel like the hosts will buy this.
Will or will not?
I feel like they will. I feel like they'll be less happy if we have changed who gets the first kill, intentional kill. But I feel like we could probably defend that.
Again, I don't think we can give everything.
Well, on the grounds of having Feanor get 2 significant kills in the battle, just seems a bit excessive. You know?
The idea was supposed to be that in this event, all the Noldor who take part anyway are guilty. This is not a matter of Feanor becoming a murderer. This is a matter of his entire troop getting their hands bloody.
Right. Right.
And we're not going to show that if we only show him killing people.
Right. All right. So the actual shot that ends the act, I think, is Eowyn's reaction and her
to Olwe's death.
And and her demanding that the archers open fire, that they loose their arrows. That is the actual break.
Yes. Yep, I agree to that.
Okay. So Act 4 opens with
Fingolfin's group coming up.
Fingolfin's group coming up. Now he sees the archers firing down at the ships. So like basically he's coming into town. He's got to be coming into town to be able to see all this. Otherwise, like,
Okay, we could show him come upon the empty Feanorian camp, because they obviously didn't take their entire encampment with them. They had to leave stuff on the shore when they went into battle.
Right. Yes.
And he could come upon that and be like, what happened here? Like, we need him to start trying to put the pieces together before he sees the fight. Because he's going to conclude.
That's an Act 3 thing. We can do that in Act 3, definitely.
Okay. Because the whole point is he's going to come to the conclusion that the Teleri have intentionally tried to stop and ambush the Noldor.
Yeah.
And he has to have something that put that in his mind before he saw the fight to get to that conclusion so quickly, I feel.
Right.
Because he's not an idiot, and the Teleri are pretty weakly armed. So
yeah. Okay.
It's hard to So coming upon the hastily taken down but deserted camp looks like something happened there, and that might be where he starts thinking ambush.
Right. So he gets there. He gets there, and Galadriel's with him.
Yes, and Earwen.
That Galadriel and Earwen are with him. We do need to figure out the scene where Galadriel gets. So she, help me understand this. She feels guilty because she saw Eowyn commit suicide. That's.
Yeah. So Eowyn is going to take a swan dive off that arch for reasons, and that's when Galadriel realizes she doesn't want to be part of this battle anymore.
Okay, but has she killed anybody?
Probably not.
Galadriel? Okay.
No, I wouldn't think so, because she's just got there practically when that happens. So, but she had a weapon in her hand, so maybe she like drops it and runs away or something. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Like, how she, in order for her to see that and know who it is, she would have to be on the arch.
Right. She's with the group that's trying to take back the arch, but she hasn't killed anybody, and she's not going to kill anybody, because by the time she gets to Melian, she's talking about the kinslaying as if other people did it, not her.
Right. Okay.
So she's not guilty.
Right. So maybe she's just not in the front line enough in order to.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like with the group, but hasn't actually got up to any fighting. And
yeah. Okay. So